Folks, this probably occurs in most states. I believe it does occur in California. I'm familiar with them. I'm not so much familiar with a whole lot of other states other than the one that I'm in now, which is Texas. Right now, they are in the middle of a special legislative session. Now, it differs from a regular session, i.e., they basically try to ram through bills that may be controversial with few hearings and pretty much majority only votes. Now, in this particular case, the particular bill that I'm looking at is the bathroom bill. Now, this bill is a solution looking for a problem, and they know it. And to be honest with you, I don't understand why they are taking this on when it is not a problem. Law enforcement is against them on this particular bill. And all they are doing at this point is the same thing that other states like North Carolina and Georgia have done, which is to line up major corporations against them and start boycotts, which does nothing but hurt the state economically. Now, I'm going to play this particular clip from a local Texas morning show that is focused on the political agenda. Here we go.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Texas Politics. We have watched a marathon in the state Senate, working overnight, long days on the floor, passing 18 bills in 7 days of the special session. State Senator Huff is there for each vote, a Dallas Republican, in studio this morning with us, and joining the questioning, as always, is Bud Kennedy of the Star-Telegram. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Senator, let's start with the bathroom bill. What do you tell police chiefs, CEOs of American Airlines, IBM, Dallas Regional Chamber, and hundreds of other organizations who say that bathroom bill is a solution looking for a problem?
Well, look, this to me is a common sense piece of legislation, the Texas Privacy Act, to keep men out of ladies' restrooms and boys out of girls' locker rooms. And we're going to deal with that on a statewide level. It's a personal issue, but we're going to deal with it statewide for public buildings only, government buildings, not private businesses. But we got a lot of other things we're working on too down there. We got 18 other bills like voter fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, for Dallas County, that's a big issue for Dallas County. As you know, we have 700 ballots that were provisional, that couldn't even really be counted last municipal election.
I want to get into voter fraud and the other pieces in a moment, though. But back to the bathroom bill, which is creating a lot of headlines. You know, Dallas police said it looked back through 3 years worth of records back to 2014, couldn't find a single case of a woman or a girl being attacked in a bathroom, which this bill would prevent.
Look, I don't want to keep...
See, this guy is fumbling because he knows that this, again, as the gentleman said, is a solution looking for a problem. There is no problem, so there is no need for this particular law. Yet, and again, I don't understand it. It's these holier-than-thou, high-rolling Christian, quote-unquote, supporters that apparently seem to be pushing this thing, and I don't see where all the support is coming from inside of the local legislature, because the people don't want this particular bill to go through. And all this guy can do is fumble for an answer as why this bill is so important.
Harping on this because we've got so much other stuff we're doing in the state of Texas. I know it's sensationalism. I know it's going to sell ink for papers and things like that. But the Texas Senate is focused on making the Texas miracle, continuing the Texas miracle about liberty, prosperity.
No, I understand, but you voted for this bill. I'm just trying to understand if it doesn't exist right now, why would you support it? If the problem doesn't exist, why would you support it?
Look, it's common sense. Look, I'm going to come back one more time and tell you, it's common sense. We do not want boys and girls locker room in the school districts. We do not want every school district focused on this issue. We want them focused on teaching the kids, educating the students, and not focused on social policies. That's why the state, it's a hard decision. It's a complicated decision, and that's why the state of Texas and the state legislature needs to act on this issue and take leadership in this role.
And you say it's privacy if you want to send transgender women out of women's bathrooms but let transgender men in. How does that improve privacy?
Look, guys, can we focus on the...
See, he doesn't have an answer for that because it's just plain stupid, okay? He was trying to get away from the question completely, but he couldn't do that. And now, this other gentleman just asked him a relevant question. Why would you let a transgender man into a woman's bathroom? He can't answer that question because there is no answer for that. You shouldn't do it.
Other issues.
Well, this is one of 18. We'll come back to this in a few moments, but let's pick up voter fraud. That's another big issue that the House and Senate are both interested in.
Yes.
Does this realistically have a chance of passing?
Oh, absolutely. I think all the bills, we've done 18 bills now in the special session. The Texas Senate's worked hard. We worked till 2 o'clock in the morning. We worked till midnight. And we're going. I'm optimistic, really. I really think the House is going to pass most of the bills that the governor's called for the special call.
You think so?
I do. I'm excited. I do. It's certainly not on the same time frame as the Senate, and it might not be the Senate bills they pass, but I think most of these issues are going to get handled in the House, and they're going to send them over. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them.
Well, you've been a developer. Several of the bills involve development rules. What's the most important development rule that needs to be changed in your view?
Oh, there are some good ones. The annexation bill is a real important one. I think to give a voice for the people that are going to be annexed. If a city's going out there to forcibly annex a community or a neighborhood, I think the neighborhood needs to have a voice in that process, and that's what Senate Bill 6 is about, to having an election to decide if they want to be annexed or not into a municipality.
You got a bill passed in the Senate prohibiting cities from creating restrictions on cell phone use in vehicles. Should the state be looking for more ways to reduce distracted driving?
What's really important about that bill is that we have statewide laws for clarity and transparency and consistency what the rules behind the wheel are. The state of Texas has always taken the primacy role of what the rules are when you're driving your vehicle, whether it's licensing a vehicle, who can drive the vehicle, seat belts, car seats, everything like that. That comes from the state of Texas. We cannot have hundreds of different laws out there of different municipalities of how you can use your cell phone. And that's what my bill's about. It's about giving transparency and clarity and certainty to the rules of the road.
Don, I know you've been for constitutional carry of handguns. Mm-hmm. Why do Texans need to be allowed to carry large knives, daggers, swords? Why was that important?
That wasn't really a big issue in the last session. That bill kind of sailed right through both chambers. I think people have decided that it's time that Texans could deal with their self-defense and the way they wanted to. I don't think that's really a self-defense bill. I think that's just more of getting rid of old laws that don't have a meaning anymore.
If the House somehow stalls or doesn't pass the bathroom bill, will Republicans come back for it in 2019?
I don't know for sure.
Should they?
Look, this is an important issue to a lot of folks. It really is. And we're going to continue to work to make sure we're going to protect women in our bathrooms. And we're going to continue to work to make sure that we do not have boys and girls locker rooms. And that's just the bottom line on it and for our public schools.
You know, a lot of the organizations against this legislation traditionally back Republicans, law enforcement, some of the biggest corporations in the state. Do you think that you or the GOP might lose any support for the stance?
No, I don't. All the polling right now shows that the polls are in favor of this legislation. And I think this is the people are speaking in favor. You're hearing a small minority of the folks that are against it.
But these are huge corporations and law enforcement, and these are leaders in the community.
Oh, I understand that. I get that. They're also the corporations and businesses that can afford the big lobbyists down in Austin and can afford press media and everything else. They can buy the media. Look, we're listening to the grassroots. And they're speaking, and that's why we're acting.
See, and that's a bunch of bullshit because the grassroots people are totally against the bill. So he just told a bold-faced lie there. And the other lie he basically told, or misrepresentation, I should say, is that he said that all of the large corporations that can afford media are against them. But these are the same corporations that support these guys. So again, he's basically misrepresenting the fact that some of these, or a lot of these corporations are basically trying to do the right thing, yet I do not know who is trying to push this thing other than you have, I don't know, some type of a national identity that's going from state to state to state, trying to ramp this particular thing up. And that makes me think that it's pretty much the religious right, though honestly I don't have any information to support my hypothesis on that one.
60 seconds left here. Senator, I want to ask you briefly about President Trump. You know, he wants to ban transgender troops in the military. What should happen to the thousands of men and women who are currently enlisted?
That's a commander-in-chief's role. That's his job to decide what's best for the military. And if he thinks that's best to defend our country, and I'm supporting him.
And you guys have done most of your work.
See, that just told me that this guy is a sheep, and he's going to follow blindly along with a Republican president, no matter how fucked up the president is. This guy needs to be voted out of office down here locally, but he's in a pretty much safe Republican district in Dallas County, so, you know, it is what it is.
The Senate, so now you're waiting to see what the House does and whether you're going to conference with them, is that right?
That is correct. We got 18 of them out, and we're waiting to see what they send us.
We'll let you catch your breath, Senator Huff. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, so that's just an example of an idiot, okay, who I don't know whether he's getting his pockets lined by whomever, but again, that bathroom bill is a solution looking for a problem. It's not a problem here in Texas. You'll note that they didn't even really delve anywhere deeply into the voter fraud bills that these guys are constantly putting through, that whenever they are challenged in the courts are thrown out as being unconstitutional. So, you know, I don't know if, well, actually I do. You know, Republicans, some, not all, have moral compasses that are basically tilted, broken, because, you know, live and let live basically should be the law of this land. And if something is not happening, then don't imagine that it could be happening. But that's what these guys do. And as far as them believing in personal liberties, they damn sure don't when they basically try to restrict the right to vote in this particular state. Now, everything else pretty much, you know, is a wash no matter what side you want to come down on. That ability to carry long knives, I don't give a damn about that, you know, because most people, I shouldn't say that, I assume that a lot of people basically are defaulting to handguns versus knives, machetes, etc. That seems like something that a gang member would use, like MS-13. So he basically is making it easier for the MS-13 guys to walk around with machetes and do whatever they do. Again, short-sightedness, not thinking, just a basic Republican quality.